Great to get the first win in the SEC. For most of our guys, this is the first time they've experienced SEC basketball. The only guys really with experience were Raquez, and you can say to a degree, Jalen, and then also Tyson. But for our guys to come out and get their first win in SEC basketball was huge for us. I think our guys did a really good job of persevering. There were a lot of times there I was looking for guys to sub, and Jalen had a cramp, and Chicken had a cramp, and Trevante had 4 fouls, and guys were coming like, I need a sub, and I'm like, there are no subs, So we had to find a way to persevere. And I thought the key turning point was like there was about 6 minutes left in the ball game, and it was a media timeout. And I told our guys, like, don't get wrapped up in your offense, because it's just a 6-point lead for them. And I said, it's 6 minutes left. I said, we can find a way to make up a point a minute by getting stops. I said, like, we'll have 2 possessions every minute at least. And so we'll find a way here to get this made up. And our guys, their head were dropped. They came in, they were 6 points down, they weren't scoring, and like all of them was down and solemn. And I said, like, hey, get your heads up. It's just a 6-point ball game. We can make this happen. So obviously really pleased with the way things turned out for us to win this ball game without making a 3-pointer. What shows our guys that we can find a way.
Rick, you mentioned that, and y'all had, I think you kept them scoreless for 4+ minutes. And what did you just see your team doing well defensively at that point? It seemed like they're just getting after the ball pretty good.
Yeah, Fred Thomas is really active in that 1-3-1 defense, and it's really the best time for him because sometimes in man-to-man he gets lost or the physicality, gets to him. But in that 1-3-1, because of his length, he's really able to get out in the passing lanes and get some deflections, and it's kind of contagious. And I thought that, Chicken did a good job at the top of it, but the key to that whole deal was Colin Borkin. Colin, anytime they tried to spread us out, that he was guarding those guys one-on-one, he was able to contain people and allowed those other guys to keep the pressure up.
Is it just a fundamental fact that this is the way that your team's going to have to win SEC games this year? This is the style, this is the way it's going to have to happen?
I think that's going to be the way all the time. Not just this year. I just think that's the way, conference basketball is. I mean, we spend so much time, scouting the opponent, and it becomes a half-court game. I just don't think, the way basketball is now, it's lower scoring and it's a grind. And so, there's not going to be very many opportunities. It's going to be a high-scoring, blowout affair. That's just college basketball these days.
You say about Craig just fighting through cramps and an ankle injury the whole second half, and he scored like 9 points over the last 10 minutes. Just showed a lot of grit, I guess.
Yeah. The thing that's hard with with Craig is he's a one guy as far as that we know can get by if we draw something up for him. The problem is when he gets by, what is he going to do? Is he going to be something positive, or is he going to turn the ball over? But down the stretch there, he was huge for us because he continually got the ball into the paint. And we needed that. When a team like South Carolina pressures you, the only way you can beat the pressure or fight the pressure is to get the ball in the paint. One is by driving the basketball, the other one's passing the ball into the paint. And we couldn't find Gavin inside. One is I think Gavin didn't do a great job of making himself available in the post. But the other thing too is our guys are getting pressured, and he just didn't find a way to fight that pressure and still make post feeds. So it boiled down to guys like Raquez and Chicken driving the ball into the paint.
I know this isn't something that usually gets talked about a whole lot, but probably by far the loudest crowd you've had at the end of the game when everybody was cramping and some guys were still on the sideline. Do you see your guys feeding off of that and almost going on just adrenaline?
I can't tell you how much it means to the players to have support like that, because they're kids. They grow up watching college basketball and seeing the atmospheres and things like that. And so they want that atmosphere to happen at their home place. And so it was really good. I thought the students got into it. I thought the fans got into it. And I thought our guys, fed off that, especially, late down the stretch here where we were getting stops and knocking balls loose and getting out in transition. So I thought the fans did a great job of supporting the team, and that's something our guys need.
I know talk about teaching moments, but you see this as a game of, you mentioned this is the way it's going to have to be, playing tough defense, and you can look at this and go, see, I told you.
Yeah. And our guys need that because they haven't experienced it, they haven't seen it. And the thing that I'm so happy about for our guys is they've been playing really hard in practice and competing and trying to do the things that we've been telling them is the right way to go about playing basketball. And so for them to start seeing some success on the court, because of how hard we go in practice and things like that, it's good for our team because now they understand, that if they play this hard and do things the right way, you got a chance to win ball games.
How frantic was that last 4-minute stretch where it seemed like Scotty Johnson was your MVP? It didn't seem like you knew who could go in the game and who couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you come down the stretch in a tight ball game, that's when you got to have some sort of calmness to it. You got assistant coaches in your ear telling you, like, we need to sub this guy, we need to run this play, we need to do this defense, he needs to come out, we need to run this play, and like, it's so many things going on, and I just like, hey man, like, calm down, calm down, like, we're going to be all right. So yeah, it gets frantic down the stretch, no question about it.
At what point did you find on the last possession that it was South Carolina's ball? Because it looked like the ball at the back of the backboard.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought the whole time when they put .8 up there that it was our ball. And then until like the referee Rick came over and told me that, like, no, it's their ball. That's when I called a timeout because we were preparing for us to have the ball and break the press, with .8 seconds, talking about like time and score, what we need to do. We got 2 timeouts. Then he comes over in the huddle and says like, hey, it's their ball. I say, hold on now. I've been preparing my team for us to be our ball, with .8 seconds left. But, hey, they made a call. We figured out a way and, end up winning the ball game.
Can you talk about putting Tyson on Ellington in that last 3-minute stretch? And it seemed like he had him, and it was his time to guard him. And that's kind of been his MO the whole year, is that defensive guy.
Yeah. I tell you what, if Tyson Cunningham is a company guy, whatever the company needs, he's going to do it. So, like, when he gets done playing basketball here at Mississippi State, somebody should hire him because, like, he's going to be a company guy. You never have to worry about what's going on, loyalty, getting work done, and things like that. But it was also a factor of, like, Chicken was cramping up. Javante had 4 fouls, so we wanted somebody to go up there and put pressure on the basketball. Chicken couldn't do it because he was cramping up, and Javante, we didn't want him to get his 5th foul, too, so it was actually a functionality of it, too.
Going on the road for the first time in SEC with his punts, not practice, but as far as these guys, cramping up.
Well, we won't practice tomorrow. Tomorrow, like the next 2 days for us would be more about mental preparation and physical preparation. I think it would be, not smart on my part to go out and try to like have a hardcore 2-hour practice after all the energy they exerted in this ball game. So, and our guys got to understand that, like, I'm not rewarding them for winning. I'm not, punishing them for losing. But it's just the fact of the matter is that, like, we got to have a mental preparation day tomorrow. So we'll, watch tape of this game some and talk about like the positives and the negatives, but more importantly, start talking about what we need to do to get ready for Georgia. And, those guys got to lock in. They got to lock in and film, and we're going to be walking through a lot. So, we'll probably come in and get us some shots. That'll be pretty much the only thing we'll do physical besides stretching.
Is it concerning at all just about Jalen gets his first start and then just starts cramping up pretty easily? Do you feel like that's just...
I don't know if it has anything to do with starting or anything like that, but, Jalen is, is a kid that's had cramps in the past and things like that, and we got to figure out a way to combat that. And, I'll sit down with Scotty and we'll figure out, like, do we need to get him some more electrolytes, 24 hours in advance and things like that, because, you can't have that happen. We got to figure out a way to, like, combat that.
Can you talk about opening up in that 1-3-1? Because Frank talked a lot about we prepared for it, but not as much as I thought they'd use it. Is that a matter of just the way your numbers work right now on your bench, or is that personnel-wise playing to your strength with the specific guys?
Well, we really opened up in a 2-3.
Okay.
Against them, and the 2-3 like was totally ineffective. And I don't know if, like, I'm a guy, I don't like zone in the first place, and I didn't want to do 2-3. And when we played the 2-3, and Richardson hit 2 threes right away, and then Bruce Ellington, split the 2-3 zone. The whole point of playing the zone is like to stop the penetration. So he split it and got into it, and I said, screw this. We're going back to man. And our guys did a really good job of playing man and getting us back into the ball game. So. 8 of those points that they scored, I think the first 12 was due to the fact that we were in that zone. And so, we got out of that.